The grip of the sticks is very similar to a snare drum grip or a grip for mallets for keyboard percussion. You're going to have a fulcrum, and the other fingers are going to wrap loosely around the stick with the stick resting in the palm. There's a couple of different ways of playing the timpani. 3 different main grips. A French grip looks like this, with the thumb facing up. German grip is the most similar to a snare drum grip. And the American grip is somewhere in between. For the basic stroke on the timpani, it's not so dissimilar from a basic stroke on a snare drum. With the French grip, your thumb's going to be facing up, and you're going to drop the stick towards the head, and there'll be a natural rebound. So let's start by just dropping the stick and feeling the way that the stick bounces back naturally. You'll feel that the head sort of throws the stick back at you. So for the stroke, what we're going to do is just follow that natural motion. We're going to do what we can to not get in the way of the natural rebound of the stroke. This will help get the full resonance of sound that we need when we're playing the timpani. What we don't want to do is in any way impede the natural motion of the stick. So we don't want to squeeze our grip at all. We don't want there to be any tightness. The mallet is allowed to move freely in the hand. So you don't want to, for instance, stop the stick after you strike the drum. Instead, feel that natural rebound and just let the stick come back to you. As you're practicing the basic timpani stroke, pay attention to your beating area, where you're striking the drum. There's a sort of a sweet spot, a best place on each drum to strike, where you'll get the most resonant sound and still a focus to the sound. The spot is slightly different on each drum. It's a little bit closer to the edge, the smaller the drum is. The larger the drum is, the more it's away from the edge. Now, as you're practicing this basic stroke, notice that if you play too close to the edge, the sound is very thin. And if you play too close to the center, the sound becomes thuddy and it's not as resonant. When you find the right spot, the drum should really sing. It should be very resonant. As you're learning the basic stroke on the timpani, you're isolating one hand at a time. So just practice right hand basic timpani strokes and use your ear to make sure that the sounds are consistent and that every sound is a good sound. As you're learning the basic stroke on the timpani, start off by isolating the hands. So play basic timpani strokes with the right hand, really listening for any inconsistencies, and then try the same with the left hand. On the timpani, you're really going to be able to tell any inconsistencies in your playing based on how much you're squeezing the stick or where your beating spot is. So this is a great time to develop your ear and to really listen and to see how consistent you can be with each stroke. When you're comfortable with the basic timpani stroke with the hands isolated, then you can try putting the hands together and alternating the strokes. When you do this, continue to pay attention and make sure that you're not in any way getting in the way of the natural rebound or the natural motion of the stroke. As you're playing alternating strokes on the timpani, pay careful attention to your beating spot. You want to make sure that, in addition to keeping your hands consistent and your grip and the motion of the stick, that your beating spot is consistent, because that's also going to contribute to the consistency of your sound.